Good morning. My name is Noreen Bachtel, and I'm the chair of the West Hartford Senior Citizens Advisory Commission. And just to tell you a little bit about the commission, we're a 9-member commission appointed by the West Hartford Town Council. We meet the third Tuesday of the month here at the Bishop Corner Senior Center, and a copy of our 2026 calendar dates can be found on the back table. We typically hold meetings, our business meeting, and we have feature a program like today on various topics and issues of concern to older adults here in West Hartford. The commission is charged with studying and assessing the needs of older adult residents in regards to housing, employment, health and safety, nutrition, transportation, recreation, and other quality of life issues. And over the past years, we have held programs on senior housing, on pedestrian safety for older adults, and other various important topics that are important for all of us to learn about and to find resources, like today for our Eversource program. So I would like to just mention, as we discussed at our meeting before, exciting news from the town is there's a senior housing survey. So those of you here and you are a West Hartford resident, please see Becky and Sears here at the Senior Center about completing a senior housing survey that's just being launched today. So with that, I'd like to introduce Liz Businski, our Assistant Director of Social Services for the town of West Hartford. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Liz Businski. Just very briefly, I just want to thank you all for attending. Remind you that West Hartford Social Services Department is here for you. We're here to assist with any energy needs. We're here to help you with applications and whatnot. Sorry, speaking to the mic. I also just wanted to point out my colleague Karen Paquette, who's here in the back, available in our office at Town Hall. I also wanted to point out we have Tiffany Bell from Community Renewal Team. She's in the back in the purple. She's joined us today. CRT does all of the Connecticut Energy Assistance Program, CEAP, for the town of West Hartford. So if you have specific questions related to the CEAP program, Tiffany is available to answer questions at the end. So thanks all for attending. I want to turn it over to Catherine Davini, who's our energy specialist for the town of West Hartford, and she's here to represent the Sustainable West Hartford Commission. Thanks.
Hi everyone, my name is Catherine Davini. So I work for the town part-time. I'm the energy specialist for the town of West Hartford. So I'm in charge of all of the town's utility bills, of which there are over 300 a month. But I also serve as the staff liaison to our Sustainable West Hartford Commission, which is another commission comprised of 11 members of the community. They meet Monday evenings, the last Monday of the month, typically from 7 to 9 in Town Hall. And any of you are welcome to join their meetings as well. They focus on promoting economic and social sustainability within the community and protecting and ensuring the present and future of this community, as well as conserving and protecting our natural resources. They have a bunch of working groups focused on nature-based solutions, energy, waste, and communications. So they really try and expand their reach even further. A lot of what they do is focused on outreach and education and serving as a community liaison. So they're very excited to be partnering and bringing this talk with the Senior Citizens Advisory Commission. Thanks for having us here. I'll be here. You're welcome to talk to me or any of the Eversource representatives in the back. I am going to introduce Lissette Andino, who is the Director of Community Partnership and Engagement for the town of Eversource. We're excited to hear this talk today. Do you have one of these?
Okay, good. I have one here. You guys
Okay.
hear me okay? Great, thank you so much. Thanks, everybody. Thanks for having me here. I'm Lissette. I'm with the Eversource, Director of Community Partnership and Engagement. And my team is responsible to do a lot of outreach in the community and educate our customers on many of our energy programs and services throughout our service territory. So we're happy to be here, happy to have West Hartford join with different commissions and groups to be able to present this workshop to you for the first time for the town, but hopefully we'll be able to come back again and for other programs and services. So today we're here to talk about, Let's Talk Energy. It's a workshop series that we're doing, educating our customers on various programs. And today we're going to talk about understanding your electric bill. And so I have a team of folks here with me. We have our energy efficiency folks, we have our bill folks here, we have our community teams here. So you have any question you want to ask, that we should be able to help you here today. The presentation's very brief. It's about 15 to 20 minutes because we really want to just meet with you one-on-one. Because I think if you have questions or you want somebody to look at your bill, we have somebody here that can look up your account, make sure you're on the right program, and answer any questions maybe that you choose to ask during the presentation towards the end, or or one-on-one with our specialists. We're not leaving until all of you are attended to if you want to sit afterwards. So I'll get right to it. Briefly, the goal today is to really help you understand about your electric bill. So we're going to go through the components of the residential bill, talk about the programs to help, and we'll have our Joanne who'll come up and talk about those programs. She's also in the back that can help you directly. Protecting you from scams. How many of you are receiving calls daily or emails about scams? We really want to make sure you understand and protect you from those scams and ensure that we're not out there demanding payment from any one of you from a robocall or things of that nature. And then energy efficiency. I think that's a huge piece of kind of the component of what we're here to talk to you today. So briefly, we're going to go through the bill. So you see I took a sample electric bill here for everybody. If any of you folks brought your own bill, you can walk through it at your own bill, or you can look at this large poster board that I have here. So your Eversource energy bill is divided into 4 parts. You have the supply portion, the transmission, local delivery, and public benefits. And so if you take the first look at the first page of your bill, it's like your summary. It's a snapshot of kind of all of the charges that you have. And so in 2023, we went through and redesigned this bill. And so this has been, used to just be 2 different parts that you would see in the past. And now we have it so it's a little bit more transparent. You can see broken down. It's color coded. Color coding is also very easy to understand different parts of the bill. But this is what the new bill looks like. Obviously, the top portion is what most people look at when they get their bill, is the amount now due. But also, it breaks it down into the different colors with the supply. And the percentages for those. This area in the bill, in the part of the bill, is your supplier portion. So if you have a third-party supplier, and we will talk about that in the next couple slides, that information would be here. If you have Eversource standard service, which it would say it here, if you have a third-party supplier, it will have that price here as well. It'll tell you the rate. It'll tell you what your term is for that. It'll tell you more information. So this particular box, we talk about suppliers, it's a big part of the bill because it's a big piece of your bill where you have a choice in choosing a supplier, and that's important for you to know, and we just want to make sure that you see that where that information would be every month when you receive a bill. This area here to the left of the bill is the bar graph. It shows the average temperature. If you ever took a look at it, it tells you the average temperature for that month underneath the bar graph for each of those months. And the usage, what you've used. You're going to hear me talk about usage a lot. It really drives how much energy you use. It'll affect what you pay. And so if you can you guess what month this is? This is a December bill. So can you guess what month this tall bar?
July or August.
You got it, July or August, right? So you think about it, that for this particular year, 2025, the average temperature was 78 degrees, right? So you would think that's the highest usage you would use electricity. So if you heat your home with electricity, but most folks in July are cranking up the fans or cranking up their air conditioners, this gives you a good visual. And this dark green bar here tells you this is the current billed month. So, and it shows you from December, this is a December and December. So it shows what you used last year and the year prior, and then this, it shows definitely you used less that month though. But just want to make sure you understand the bill and going through that. This also talks about, how your use changed from month to month, right underneath the bar graph. I'm not sure if any of you still write a check for your bill. If you don't write a check, you can ignore the bottom half here, the bill stub, because most likely you're signed up for auto pay or through a bill pay. So this is the first page of the bill, just kind of giving you high-level summary of kind of the key things that you're going to be paying for. The second page really goes into a little bit more details, and like I said, if you have your bill, you can walk with me with the bill, but not I have this large bill here. Again, this goes into the same detail. Again, still color-coded by the different sections so that you can understand where these charges are coming from. And in terms of, it has your meter reading cycle, tells you how much you've used over here to the left, tells me what your read is. We send folks out to do the reads. You don't have to do them back in the day where you had the little card and you had to do the little line and the circle in the meter. We don't offer that anymore. We have automated, be able to read that information. A lot of information here on Eversource.com. Let's say you have a question like, this doesn't make sense to me. I have that here. Folks with the smartphones use the QR code for more information. And then it also talks about the different charges. This particular bill, a customer is on the low income discount rate. If you're on a discount rate, it'll show it in the miscellaneous charges and credits on that portion of the bill. So again, it's more detailed, more information on the bill. But again, these are the two parts, 2 pages. This is kind of the details, and the other page is a summary. So let's go into the supply charge. I'm going to get back over here. So is this going to interfere with this mic?
No, thank you.
No? Okay, great. So what is the supply charge? So this is the cost of electricity. This is what we pay, we pay to purchase electricity. We do not generate power. I think that's one thing that's important for folks to know. We have to buy power out on the market as well. And so we don't make any profit on what we purchase. And we also have to go through, and we go on to the current market price of electricity. And we go out twice a year. So if you ever remember any 2 dates, similarly like if you change your batteries or when there's a time change, January 1st, July 1st are the 2 times a year we go out and look for different supply rates. So January 1 and July 1. So that's something we promote that, and we work with our regulators. Again, it has to be approved. We put in a proposal usually in November, working with our state agencies, and here's the best current market price that we can for electricity for our residential customers. That gets submitted to our regulators, which is PURA, which is the Public Utilities Regulatory Authority. And then they go through, they accept it or they don't accept it. And so then we usually promote it within a month or so prior so that you're aware that January 1 or July 1, we are going to be changing the rates. And so that's something to be mindful of. Right now, we're in, we just changed the rates. And so we want to make sure that you're also aware of when that happens, twice a year, January 1, July 1. We talk about supply. And so the comparing electric supply rates, so one of the things that we have as it relates to the state of Connecticut is you have a choice. When I talk about the choices, that you can choose an energy supplier. And one of the benefits of that is that you can go in and find the lowest rate. I am a customer of Constellation, and I can choose their rate. And so as part of the way it was designed here in Connecticut, we want to make sure that you have the option or you understand how you can do that. Does anybody here in this room have a third-party supplier, have chosen a third-party supplier that would be willing?
On and off.
On and off, right? And it's a good thing to have. I mean, you can, and you've noticed the benefits of that?
Some 6 months, the standard rate is a better price, and other times, depending on the term of the contract, the Constellation or others might offer. It comes and goes.
Excellent, and that's the experience we hear from a lot of our residential customers. It is something you just have to. I go twice a year and take a look. Some contract is maybe it's a 12-month contract. It could be a 24-month contract. One of the things that you can do is you can switch your suppliers. You will not get a separate bill for a supplier. It is on that, remember we talked about that big portion of the page 1 that shows the standard service, which is Eversource service, or the supplier service, and it'll tell you on that page 1, which is such a great piece, if your rate is higher or lower than Eversource's standard service. Yes, sir.
And if you happen to be on a budget plan, if you prefer that.
Can you speak
Steve-
louder, please?
Oh, no, hold on, there's a mic for you, I think. I appreciate, thank you so much. I appreciate that.
As far as switching to an independent supplier, if you happen to be on a budget plan, there was seamless transfer. The budget number still worked. They jump right in, and come reconciliation month, somebody's going to square up if you're over or under the months you were, but it was seamless to me.
Excellent, and that's the experience we hear from a lot of customers. So it's important that we ask everybody, you can get on eversource.com, we have a very short video that can explain that to you, but this energizect.com, the rate board, a rate finder board is excellent. Some folks are okay to pay higher, some people want to just have a supplier that provides green energy. Let's say there are suppliers on there that just do green types of, but it's a higher rate. But if that's important to you and you're willing to pay their rate, you can do that as well. That's the greatest thing about having the choice here. You can choose that best fits your unique needs. So we just wanted to make sure that's a big part of that. And it's very simple to sign up. There isn't a fee. There's no fee to change or any cancellation fees if you decide to switch back. The next part of the bill is the transmission charge. This is the cost to maintain the high voltage, the transmission lines that you'll see along the highway. That charge and fee is regulated by FERC. Oh, hello. The Federal Energy Regulatory Commission. It's an independent agency that manages that rate and sets the costs that we are allowed to charge. Again, we talk about usage. It's very dependent on how much energy you use that charge. So it's important that, again, we're trying to make sure our folks are managing their energy use.
Can I ask a question?
Sure.
Why is the transmission charge so high going into, why is the transmission charge so high going into multiple unit apartment buildings? It's almost the same as going into a single family home, yet there's one wire going into that building and then it splits up into multiple apartments. That doesn't make sense to me.
Well, the transmission charge, appreciate the question. The transmission charge is set, like I said, by FERC, which it's regulated by ISO as well, which manages the regional operator for New England. So that rate is not set by anything through the state. It's a federal rate. In terms of the specific question to multi-family dwelling, I can get back to you on that. I don't have the specific answer to that question as on a multi-unit dwelling for you at this time. Okay. Two more parts of this bill, and then I'll hand it over to my colleague. The local delivery charge, this is our business. This is what we charge in terms of including the employees, the cost of the electric grid and improvements that you have. Pulling in, I saw the substation right outside here, outside of the library that you have. Again, to maintain, have the best equipment so that you have very reliable service. Again, the delivery charge is driven by how much energy you use. Again, we're trying to encourage folks to conserve energy as much as possible. And it's not a flat rate at all. And then we have the public benefits charge that you heard about. This includes the state and state mandated programs that we offer, including some of the energy assistance programs, some of our energy efficiency programs. There's about over 50 plus line items that are included in there. They're state mandated programs that we put through and the public benefits charge. And I didn't know if Jonathan, did you wanted to kind of come in and talk a little bit about the public benefits charges?
Hello? Yeah, thanks. My name is Jonathan Ferrigno. I'm on the Government Affairs team at Eversource. I'm also on the Sustainable West Hartford Commission, so I'm happy to be here in both capacities. So you laid out the public benefits pretty well. From my team's perspective, we work with the state legislature on some of these policies, and to Lissette's point, if you were to break down the 50 to 60 some odd line items contained within public benefits, they're almost all directly tied to a statute that is a mandate on the company. Like Lissette said, we administer these programs, and the costs we recover through the electric bills at no markup, no premium, so it really is just a pass-through cost. These are programs that the company is happy to support. We're happy to partner with the state on, their efficiency goals, their carbon goals, but again, we are not profiting in any way off of these. I know that public benefits kind of started to dominate the media at some points in time. But yeah, also, I think one of the big drivers of that is the cost recovery for the 2 nuclear plants that we buy power from, Millstone and Seabrook. Again, that pass-through cost is collected through public benefits. Now, I will say the legislature last session, in an attempt to address some of the cost issues that we've all been hearing so much about, they did move some of the public benefits costs off of the electric bill and into the state budgetary process through the bond commission. That was the electric vehicle programs, and what they did is they took some of the costs associated. There was a spike during COVID for a lot of our hardship programs, and so they bonded some of that to get it back down to the levels before COVID. And the last thing I will note, public benefits, similar to some of the other aspects of the bill, it's a volumetric charge, meaning it is based off of your usage. So the more that you're using, the more you will, the higher public benefits charge you'll see.
Great, thanks. Thanks, Jonathan. Okay, so now we're going to get to the programs to help. And I'll have Joanne, maybe you want to take the mic and work through that, through these slides.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Joanne. I am a consultant with our low-income programs here in Connecticut. And I'm going to talk to you about some of the programs that we have available for you at Eversource. So the first program that we have is the Connecticut Electric Discount Rate. It's also known as the LIDR. And this is a program for electric customers that offers up to a 50% discount on the electric bill. So recently, this past year, we added more tiers to this program. When we first started the program in Connecticut, we had 2 tiers. So we had either the 10% or the 50%. Now we have multiple tiers, 5%, 15, 20, 40, and 50. So again, this is a customer program that's based off of the electric bill. You can get up to 50% off, and you qualify by either a government benefit or income eligibility, which is the income eligibility for the 60% of the state median income. So you can apply for this program at your local community action agency, which is CRT here in West Hartford. You can also call Eversource, and you can apply for it online. You can send your information in to us at eversource.com. If you have questions, please don't hesitate to ask. So here's kind of the income guidelines for this program based on each tier and how many household members in each tier, which is appropriate for the amount of the income eligibility is. So for instance, a family of 1 can get a 5% discount if they are at or under 47,000. Tier 2, same thing, so on and so forth. So if you think you might qualify for this program, again, you can give us a call or you can visit your local community action agency. And then we have fuel assistance partnerships program. So we have Tiffany in the back of the room here. She administers our SEAP program, which is the State Energy Assistance Program. A lot of people know it as fuel assistance, as it was called years ago. So this is a program that helps heating customers with their heating bill, whether it be electric or gas. And there's a benefit up to $645 that can be applied to your account if you do qualify. So you can apply either by visiting the community action agency in your area or by visiting ct.gov heating help. And then we also have assistance for oil, which is done by Operation Fuel, which is now called Generation Power. And they assist customers who can't qualify for SEAP with oil assistance. And then we've got payment plans and assistance programs. And I think this is a very, very important program, our matching payment program. So this matching payment program was revised last year, and the program allows customers to get a benefit on their either gas or electric account and forgive the balance on that account, whether it's 60 days or $100 past due. So every payment that the customer makes or someone makes on behalf of that customer, it'll be matched. So if you receive a SEAP payment, that payment is matched. If you pay $100 on your account, it's matched. And it's matched on a monthly basis until the customer is at a 0 balance. And I should say, in addition to this, customers who are on this program automatically go on the 5% discount, and if they apply because they can get a higher tier, that'll be applied to the account as well. So you can have a customer who's on the low-income discount rate at 50% off, and on the matching payment program, which will get their balance down to zero faster. We have flexible payment plans, which are available for all customers. That's an 18-month payment plan that helps eliminate a past due balance. And then we have budget billing, which I think somebody spoke about the budget billing. I think you, sir, had spoke about it, which is a program that kind of helps any customer that's a residential customer kind of get a balance, get their balance paid off and have kind of a credit. So I do it myself. Maybe I pay a little bit more in the winter for the electric and maybe a little bit more for the gas in the summertime, and it kind of evens out so I know what I'm paying each month. So all these programs are available at eversource.com or by visiting your local community action agency. Anybody have any questions?
Does the matching payment program have less stringent requirements than the
replaced our New Start program. So we had a program that forgave past due balances that was called New Start, but it was only for electric customers. So we worked with Pura to revise that program and replace it with the matching payment program, which gives both electric and gas customers forgiveness on their bills. So there's no cap on the amount that the customer owes necessarily. The customer just pays until they have a zero balance. So what they
made $150,000, I would
there
not
is these are
qualify
income
for this.
No, you may not qualify by income, but if someone in your household receives a qualifying government benefit, perhaps if you have foster children, if you have your grandchildren living with you, and they do have a qualifying government benefit, you may qualify for this program.
Huh.
So it's always good to check. We do have a lot of families that maybe do have foster children that get TANF benefits, or maybe they have, an elderly person living with them, perhaps a parent, and they receive SNAP benefits. As long as the household address matches the account number, you would qualify for the program based on government benefit. Yes, ma'am.
How do you calculate the income? Is including all the...
So the income is calculated for all household members 18 years of older. But again, if a customer has a qualifying benefit, that might trump the income.
So the income is including all the social security, the bank interest, and the investment capital gain, something, everything?
Yeah, all the household income, gross household income. Any other questions? No? Well, I'll be in the back of the room if you have any questions. If you want us to look at your account, please feel free and ask, okay? Thank you for having us. I'm going to turn it back over to Lissette again.
Good. Okay, great. Thank you. All right, and then we have 2 more slides, and then we're here to answer any questions, and again, we're here for assistance. We're here to help you look at your accounts as well. As I mentioned earlier, we talk about scams. This is an area, utilities and seniors and the public in general are very vulnerable to scams. Just so you know, if we're ever going out and doing any work in your community, we have Eversource ID. We would never demand payment. We would never call and say, you're about to be disconnected, I need payment today in order to keep your account active. That is not the kind of culture our company has. We would never do that. So if you were to receive a call, that way we would, we would either call the authorities, or you can call Eversource to say, hey, I've had somebody try to get payment from me, or say that I owe all this money, which I know I've paid. So we want to make sure that we stress with folks that we would never demand payment. Always, question or call if somebody's coming very aggressively at you with something like that. That is not us. I had somebody on Friday, same thing happen. We'll get a phone call from the city and saying, we've got a couple customers that they're getting payment. Sometimes, and then they contact the local authorities to talk it through. We definitely would never do that. If somebody has a question.
Do you ever try and access the inside of anyone's home? Would you ever send anybody that would need to get inside anyone's home?
That's a good question. It would depend if we were doing a meter swap. You would know about it ahead of time. It wouldn't be something like we're coming in, or if there's an emergency. You would see the trucks coming through if there was an emergency, if there was an outage where maybe we needed to come in. But most of the time, we would not just demand to come in unless there was a cause, or we would call you to advise you that we would be out in your community to do some kind of repair, if it was an emergency repair of some sort. So we would never do that. So it's just, I think you hear about it all the time. It's just we want to reinforce that message today, because we do hear a lot about utility scams. So, and then our last slide. Oh, and I don't have my badge on me, but yeah, we always wear ID, like I mentioned, and so you always ask for that. Ask for that ID if somebody's coming into the home. And our last slide is a really important slide. Is about, we talk about usage and energy efficiency. So I don't know where the mic went, but that would be for you. Thank you. And I'll have Devin talk about energy efficiency. Thank you.
Thanks, Lissette. Hi, everyone. Good afternoon. No, I guess we got 15 more minutes of the morning. So my name is Devin Williamson. I'm with Energy Efficiency. So my first question, as you can see there on the screen, is who's heard of Home Energy Solutions, where they do the assessment and service in your home? Great, great. I see some hands raised. So for those that are unaware of the program, Home Energy Solutions is an assessment and service that, think of it as taking your home in for a physical, the way that you go to the doctor for an annual physical, just to check your home, see where there might be air leaks, duct leaks, do certain on-the-spot measures. All this work is done by our utility authorized contractors who employ BPI, Building Performance Institute technicians to perform this roughly 3 to 4 hour assessment and service. It says $75 right there on the screen. However, as long as you schedule it before March 31st and complete your assessment by April 30th, you can actually get this done at no cost, regardless of your income status or anything like that. So this is open to all customers. If you're interested, this is a program that's open to our single family and 2 to 4 unit multifamily dwelling apartment customers. So if that's you and you haven't done this program yet, by all means, call today. Make sure that you get signed up, because this is a great deal, and we really want to make sure that all of our customers are taking advantage of our energy efficiency programs. So with that being said, there are brochures on the back. This is our Home Energy Solutions brochure, so if you're interested, you're probably thinking, well, she said call. What am I supposed to call? Well, there is the phone number there on the screen, but there is also a phone number in this brochure, if my hand will cooperate. Right here in this blue-green box, it's our Wise Use line. Wise Use is so much more than just calling for Home Energy Solutions. Think of it as an energy efficiency hotline. If you're a small business owner, if you know somebody who has a small business, if you live in a multifamily building of 5+ units, make sure that your property owner or landlord is aware that there's energy efficiency programs for them to take advantage of. It's really important that everybody knows about it. The people in this room, and tell your friends, tell your family, make sure that everybody knows that energy efficiency programs and incentives exist for heat pump water heaters, heat pumps, insulation, small business, multifamily, municipal, commercial, industrial. So we want to make sure that this is a very broad-reaching set of programs. Additionally, this brochure right here is full of different tips that you can employ in your home right away. And certain things, like maybe you don't remember exactly what temperature you should set to get optimal usage for washing your clothes or dishwashing, or when to run your dishwasher, when to run your washer. All those different things that help you to reduce your energy use, because the cheapest kilowatt is the one not used. Additionally, we have a couple other energy saving tips on this lovely bookmark. All these brochures can be found at the back of the room, but I'm also available for any questions that you might have, and always happy to talk about energy efficiency. So I'm going to turn it back to Lissette to close us out with some questions.
Thanks, Devin. And that wraps up our presentation. We're here to have any questions you may have, but we're here one-on-one for the rest of the afternoon until we get kicked out of the room. But we're here to help you. That's why we have our resources here from credit collections, we have our energy efficiency team here, we have CRT here. And then one last thing, before I'll entertain any questions, is the survey. We have a survey. We also want feedback of what we've talked about today, not just the presentation, but any interactions you're having with our Eversource representatives here to answer any questions specific to your account. So other than that, that's all I have. No questions, sir.
You didn't speak about solar at all. Where are you sitting on solar, and how does that actually affect a person's monthly bill?
Great question. So in terms of solar, that is one part of the presentation I am updating for this year. We have so many folks that have solar, different type of bill, doesn't even look like this bill. And in terms of, and we encourage folks to sign up for solar. We do have a lot of programs based on solar. I don't know if, Jonathan, if there was anything specific that you're hearing on the state side on our solar incentives, because we've had some adjustments as it relates to that as well. I don't know, Jonathan, I don't have the...
Yeah,
There's a microphone up front, Jonathan.
I'm going to grab that one.
So the solar programs are funded through the public benefits charge that we discussed, that the incentives, to get everything installed. As far as installation goes, you work through a separate solar installer. As Eversource role in that process is if there are any sort of infrastructure upgrades needed to handle that sort of capacity being given back onto the system, we do that, and then obviously we interconnect the meter and everything, so that's up and running. There's 2 tariffs that you can choose from as far as solar goes. There's a metering tariff, and then buy all, I believe, which is a set rate. But if you were to move forward with that, you would want to be very explicit and make sure you, based off of your usage and how much they believe you'll be generating from your array. I've spoken with folks who weren't even sure which tariff they enrolled on. The netting tariff is the one that's probably the most common, and you'd be familiar, I'm sure, with the setup of that, where if you are producing more than you're using, you're gaining a credit on your bill. You don't cash that out unless you close the account, but what you do is you roll that credit during the months when you're using more than you're producing. That credit can be used against your bill.
Thank you, Jonathan. Yeah, go ahead, Devin.
I just wanted to also add, if you're thinking of going solar, we do have guidance regarding how to review a quote on our website. And I just want to say that, this is outside of energy efficiency because it's energy generation, but by all means, get more than one quote. Don't go with the first company that comes to your door or anything like that. Get multiple quotes and really assess what works best for you. It's very important.
Thank you, Devin. Yes,
This question is either for Jonathan or Catherine. My understanding is that for some of our municipal usage here in West Hartford, and this came through a private discussion with Rick Ledwith as to certain budget items for the town, is that we have a solar array out in Thompson or someplace like that had to be purchased, somehow had to do with who can qualify for, subsidies, and the town went out there to some solar farm, and we are subsidizing some of our town electricity from that solar array. Are there plans to continue to do that? How much of our electricity comes from that?
So I can answer that
question
for you.
I mean, this is getting into the weeds, but I really didn't understand it when Rick explained it to me.
Yeah. So the town of West Hartford, we're very interested in supporting renewable energy. So we have on-site solar arrays on multiple buildings, on some of our schools. We also participate, what you're referring to, we participate in actually 2 what we call virtual net metering solar contracts.
And this is where the town has a relationship with a solar array off-site. There is one in Thompson, Connecticut. We also have a virtual net metering contract with an array in Torrington. And what the town does is we are allowed to take credit for the solar produced at those arrays, and it offsets some of the cost on what we call our host municipal accounts. So the array you're talking about in Thompson, we have some host municipal building accounts that are off-takers for that generation, and we actually receive financial credits on our municipal account bills for the solar that's generated. It's under a long-term power purchase agreement for 15 or 20 years with this array in Thompson, Connecticut. And it does help to reduce the overall costs of the town's municipal energy budget. The same thing with Torrington. We have some of our larger municipal accounts, some of our large schools, Cornerstone, the pool, the police department, the town hall. We receive financial credits on those bills because of the solar generated there.
I mean, did the town net a 10% decrease in the cost of their electricity, or it's not that high?
The one in Thompson, Connecticut saves the town, and the rate of the credits varies year to year. It's about $70,000 a year credit to the town, savings to the town.
Fantastic.
And then the other one in Torrington is under a slightly different program. It's a provisional virtual net metering program. It doesn't always yield credits, but in the past it has yielded a couple of $100,000 credits in different years. That one's not guaranteed to receive credits every year, but last year I think it was closer to $300,000 in savings on 5 school accounts.
And where is the state in potentially building what they're calling small nuclear plants?
That's a good question. I can't specifically answer that. There has been a lot of talk up at the state legislature about that, about doing it on the existing plant down in eastern Connecticut by the Shore Millstone. I'm not a nuclear expert. It's very time consuming, but there has been talks of trying to expand at Millstone using that they call them SMRs, the small modular reactors. So it's in the mix being spoken about at the state level policy-wise. I apologize, I can't give you a concrete answer as to if there's any formal plans on moving forward with that.
Thank you.
Yeah, so I was just going to say one other thing. So virtual metering, solar, energy efficiency, these are all tools that I use on a day-to-day basis to help manage our municipal electricity budget. So overall, the town's utility budget is about $5 million. I told you we get 300 of those bills. Well, we get about 150 Eversource bills, but we also get CNG bills and MDC bills, which I'm sure you all get at home as well. So that's what my part-time job for the town is. Investigating programs just like you've been described to today, going after project opportunities like virtual net metering for the town itself to help manage and keep the costs down of our utility bills. And then I work with the commission, Jonathan, and a bunch of other dedicated residents and the Senior Citizen Advisory Board to bring this information, the residential piece of that, out to our community as well.
No, this is great. Well, thank you. You guys do a fantastic job managing all the programs. I'm saying once you learn and you find out all the programs, you know, you can get into some savings. So this is wonderful what the town is doing to make sure they're managing their energy bills. And we appreciate the opportunity to be here. We're not leaving, like I said, we're here to talk one-on-one. We can have some other discussions. We have folks ready to look up your accounts, just sitting there waiting for you to come in if you have any specific questions, to sign you up on the program. CRT's here as well to help get you on energy assistance. If you're not sure, she's right here that she can provide that guidance as well. You have, and the energy efficiency folks here for any questions with Devin. So we're here full circle. Make sure you get your assessment. If you haven't done that yet, that's a big piece, right? Every 6 years, you're eligible to get a new assessment. So if you did one 6 years ago, guess what? You can go and apply. It's no charge right now until March 31st, an energy assessment. That's for all customers. So make sure if you are eligible and you haven't done that yet, I would really encourage folks to do that. That's a significant savings. I mean, $75 wiped out, and you can get all these services coming in and doing your home. That's really critical right now. So I would definitely make that call today, or take the brochure and look at the details, and you can do that as well.
The mayor's here.
Oh, great. Hi, welcome. You want to close this out? And
Sure. Sorry, I was at a press conference at our fire station next door. I was at a press conference at our fire station next door about prices of fire apparatus and how they're going up exponentially, and they're hard to come by. So challenges abound, but I just want to thank you all for being here. Thank you to Eversource for what you do. Thank you to our leadership, Catherine Deviney, who does so much to preserve, to guide us, but also actually doing the nuts and bolts work of really controlling our costs from the town side, and they are substantial. And we understand of the affordability issues to our taxpayers. It's really a challenge, and we try to do so much to preserve the quality of life in West Hartford, keep your homes the best investment that you've ever made, while balancing the costs. And unfortunately, Connecticut is incredibly over-reliant on property taxes, and our voices are allowed to try to change that and have some other revenue sources to help subsidize and defray that burden that taxpayers, that our taxes are, but that those changes are not going to come quickly. So we need to do the best we can with what we have. I don't know if anybody has any questions for me. I'll be here for a little bit. So thank you.
I don't have any questions, but I'd like to thank you all for the good job you're doing and keeping us informed.
Well, let's thank you.
Thank you.
Lissette. Thank you so much.